Hi, I'm Brad. I'm going to be going over some of the stuff we've been doing so far in Networking Club, where we're at so far, and where we plan on going. So our first priority is just getting the physical infrastructure up and running. Getting our routers, our switches, our patch panels, everything plugged in. Nick's going to be going over that in detail in probably another video here. And then our next priority, which is going to be one of the many services we're going to try and configure in this club, was our web services, just basically hosting a web page and acting as if we were a company doing that. So this is pretty much what we've been focusing on so far as our web services stuff. And so when you look at our our little network that we've been building so far, we've got one central router, which we're kind of treating as the ISP, that is going to have everybody else connecting to it. And obviously in the real world, an ISP would have many routers, but for now, this is just like some regional thing that's happening. And so we've got everything in here is a /30 connection. Every connection to our router to router is going to be /30s. And so here's this web services little branch that we've been focusing on so far. So within that, you've got your actual server that's hosting your page, but then your company's still going to have other things going on, other hosts. They're going to have other departments, accounting, all that. It's not just a server. If you offer web services as a company, that's not the only thing you're going to have going on. So we've got to kind of segregate those aspects of the company with pretty much a DMZ that actually connects to our web server. And that web server, we've got a Windows server with IIS running, and then we also have an Apache as a backup server. And then within that, so the map of it, or the network design, we've got, here's our router with our external public address here, which is our 10.25.13.66. Then we've got a bunch of internal stuff that's everything's kind of got router on a stick going on to this router, to one interface, which has a few sub-interfaces going to it. So that was one of the earlier steps, was configuring that. And then we've got that going down to our switch, which we have set up with two separate VLANs, two that we're using right now, and then a bunch of other stuff going on. But within those two VLANs, we've got our web services, which actually has our web page on it, and then you've got your internal stuff going on with our, Windows server with Active Directory, our whole domain controller. We got separate. So we've got, our DHCP server over here on this side of things. We've got I think we did a few other services. And then you also have some hosts over here just for testing purposes. We got a Windows 10 machine. And so we can test, can we pull up this web page if we type in the browser, mic, or I think it's test.mic.com is what we call it, and test.brag.com. Configured just a couple of little HTML documents over here. And we can pull them up. We can even pull them up from, a totally separate network that's, got a couple of hops over to that web page. And so if you go into your browser on one of these, which these aren't actually out on the internet so far, it's just we don't have any connection to the outside world yet. We might be able to someday do that, but for now it's just kind of a intranet. But we can still test that you can get a few different hops and still pull up that web page and everything. The main focus of today's lab, or today's group meeting, whatever you want to call it, was configuring the VLANs, or not the VLANs, the ACLs on this router on the different interfaces. Mainly because obviously first of all, we don't have an actual firewall right now, so the only kind of security we can do is ACLs. But we want people over here, you know, this user, to be able to access this web page over here, but not get into any of this other stuff on this network. So that was the point of the ACLs we configured today, was to allow traffic to here and replies, but not allow traffic to here, where we've got, you know, we've got our domain controller. We don't want anybody getting into that. So that's pretty much where we're at now. We've got, you know, phase 2 or priority 2 just about up and running. There's some fine tuning that we need to do, of course, to make it more, we want it to as closely as possible resemble a real world setup. So there's still going to be lots of little stuff, and we always, you know, are open to trying new things if somebody comes up with an idea. Or what we'll probably end up doing is building an actual, since we can't go out and just buy an ASA firewall, we could just build a Linux firewall with just a couple of different NICs on here. Just have a few, and then have some sort of actual firewall separating the traffic. Sorry. And that's about it so far. And then I'm gonna probably go over and record Mick going over the physical infrastructure that we've set up so far.